But I think you can really feel that how the machines were moving and everything, which I found really great. So the machines were all here between the columns. And it has three stores, and in the heydays here there were 3,000 people working, so it was the hugest industrial building in that time in Europe. And now it's just empty and big. Nobody knows what to do with that structure anymore. What I also find interesting is that the stores are different. Like they get higher and they have different atmosphere, because I think in the main floor there were the most people, so there were exhibitions and all those things. And the more you go somewhere else, nobody really touched there anything, and you find stuff. I was here for the other project that I did before, and I did a Saturday afternoon walk, and I have never been here before, of course. And then I went in and I spent it here like 4 or 5 hours just walking around. I think just in that building, I was just in that building. And then went up and down and again. And I didn't have my camera with me, so I was really sorry, and I didn't have time to come back. And so, but I think I have been here 15 times, 20 times, I don't know. When you worked here, let's say in the 1920s, or when that was built in imagine you came here 1910 or so, and you were walking the whole way there, and then you went into this huge building with 3,000 other people. And I think that was also something that I could be proud of to work. So this whole working culture of having this importance and all the machines, it must have been pretty impressive when they built it. I mean, we are still impressed if we go there now, but just if you have it like full with machines and everything is working, and that sound of that machines, and always shiny and new and quite modern. I mean, it's hard to imagine that it was really the most modern building. Now it's just something that is empty and without use. So that building is a little bit different. And that's also one of the places where I took one of the photos that's in the exhibition. I'm just still always thinking of the people who worked there and how loud it must have been and how lively, and when they went to the office there because they had to complain about something, or when there was the bell at midday and everybody had the lunch break and they went down to the reflecteur. It's just full of stories, and as I worked with all that photos, I have it even more present because I know how it looked like. So I can really not just imagine, I just know what was there. And so the missing link between seeing now that empty halls and having these photos with all those people and that work thing, I think all the works more or less started with what happened in between, and to think like how they lived and what's going on now here with that building and the town. When I came here, I was here for another project, and I wanted to visit in my free time as much as possible about DMC. And I was very happy that I could visit the archive, but I did not know what to expect there. Then I just came there and I found it's a treasure box. It's huge.
Il me semble, hein? Ouais.
Das habe ich ein bisschen in der Schule gelernt.
Also die Fotos.
Ich würde sagen, wir schauen bei der einen Fotokiste.
Ja, ich schreibe vielleicht drauf.
What was also very interesting for me in the archive was that there were so much more photos about machines. What I did was I searched for photos with people. Then I took these photos and with the help of people who said like, yeah, that should be that building or so, I tried to find the spaces where these photos were taken.
That's the guy, one of the men who is hanging. You can see him here standing all around the other people. That's another one of them.
I was always fascinated that there were these photos of the bosses. You know, sometimes I don't know exactly who these people are, but you can see on photos that they were relevant because all people on the photos look up to them. What if you take away all the things that make them important? They're above the ground, they are just floating somewhere, they don't have any roots, they don't have something where they belong. And if you don't know their importance and their history, they just look like puppets on the string. And as they are photos, they are flat, they cannot look in the other direction, so they just look back and mourning what they have lost.
Be careful. So here, I guess you would not hear any sound of the machines, but you would hear everybody typing and sitting, and all these well-dressed ladies who sit there in front offices of their bosses. And there's still the DMC logo. Here you have the door of the Secretariat. And that's the room where they had all the important patterns. So it's almost massive that it was also not damaged when it would burn. That's the archive. So I think most of the important things that are now in the DMC archive were here. Archivsdirektion. So here you can still have the latest catalog of DMC, Group DMC. Unfortunately, they could not use it anymore because they left the building and just left all the different brochures here. Yeah, they're still writing 10,650 people in France are working for the DMC group. All the different parts of the group DMC, like all the different companies who belong to DMC. I mean, it's kind of symbolic that they have it just left here when they stopped producing here.
Ce qui est peut-être original dans la démarche de Tanja et pour DMC, c'est que finalement, c'est une artiste qui s'empare de l'histoire peut-être avant les historiens eux-mêmes et qui en donne une version qui est celle de l'artiste, sensible, qui parle à nos émotions et qui fait naître des émotions. Et c'est peut-être quelque chose d'assez original. Art, histoire, là on a l'impression que l'artiste a presque devancé l'historien.
The thing that an archive is doing is it preserves what was there. And maybe what an artist can do sometimes is to show people that it's interesting to do that thing.
Ja. Ich glaube, ich habe auch ganz viele von Negativen genommen. Weil ich habe ganz viele Negative gescannt. Aber schau mal, das ist so ein Canvas. Das ist gestickt. Und das hier, das ist glaube ich auch einer.
So the whole thing plays with the idea of that we are doing by hand something that a machine cannot do. And a lot of these machines also took away workspace, that the people could not work there because they were replaced by machines. So the idea was to ask people from Mulhouse that they can win over the machines in a way that they do something that machines cannot do. So in the end, to sum it up, that project really brought together all people on a table. It brought the archive together with people who were interested, who didn't know about the archive. And it involved also a lot of people that I just met somewhere. They had nothing to do with art, but they came there to embroider. So it was just really a huge working together. And that's for me so interesting because I know kind of, if you go close to the things, you can see that it's not even done because a lot of people participated. And that for me really sums up the project. It would not have been possible without a lot of people who participated.
J'avais commencé par là et là je me suis dit je n'arriverai jamais à jusque là.